welcome to PureLogic University. We're back here again today with Jason Barton from Red Hat. Morning, Jason.
Good morning.
And Shane Lefrenier from PureLogic. So last time we ended up talking a lot about automation and orchestration with Red Hat, and today we thought we'd kind of tie that back in with a very cool technical demo that we're absolutely going to geek out on. So today we're going to look at insights from Red Hat and talk about a lot of data and information that you can pull to help with your deployment.
What we'll do first is we'll just talk about the insight service and what it is, right? So it's considered to be something like a IT risk analytics service, right? It is a software as a service. It is something that you don't install on-prem, which makes it particularly easy to actually start taking advantage of, and our customers really like that.
Okay, cool.
We're going to use it to provide operational guidance for us, right? If I'm a business owner, like you were mentioning, one thing I'd like to know is, are my people actually focusing on the right things?
Yeah, exactly.
Red Hat Insights is going to actually focus the people, right, taking care of your infrastructure at different types of issues. They could be performance related, availability, stability, security as well. So again, just to focus, Red Hat Insights, it's going to try to provide as much guidance as possible on issues that you should be addressing quickly and efficiently.
And if I can stay ahead of things like WannaCry in some way, shape, or form, it's a good thing.
Yeah, that's right. So you were also mentioning from the technical side, right? So if I'm the business owner, I want to make sure people are kind of being pointed at the right things to work on. On the technical side, right, a lot of times in our work, we actually just need a little bit of a push in the right direction about how to actually address things. One of the common things I hear from my customers that are big fans of Red Hat Insights is that in the way that they build out their teams, typically we've all got the senior guys or gals on the team, then we maybe have some more junior members. One, we'll use Red Hat Insights to actually allow the junior members of the team, right, to actually start using it as a place where on a daily basis we'll go and check to see what type of issues might be in our environment, right? Then it'll actually also provide the guidance or the actions that need to be taken in order to address those issues. So it's a great way to ramp up new members of your team, right? It's almost like a training tool to a certain degree, and then it's also making them more efficient in their roles.
Well, and I want my folks to be spending 80% of their time on the really hard stuff and not 80% of their time on the care and feeding.
So Shane, what we have here is we actually have the console for Red Hat Insights. This is just a little demonstration system that we have set up.
Okay.
People can actually go and take a look at it themselves. They can go to access.redhat.com/insights.
Okay.
And when you go to that page, you're going to see a little button that says go to application. So if you want to try it out yourself, kind of maneuver around inside and see what type of information is available, you're more than welcome to do that. So what we're looking at right now is when I've actually logged in. And you'll see an overview page here. So again, what was the emphasis that we were trying to make before? We just want to provide some guidance. Imagine a member of your team comes in. Once a day, some of my customers say, well, we'll spend 15 minutes in here and we'll start taking a look around at our infrastructure. So any number of systems that you have that has the Insights client on it, it is once a day through a cron job, uploading some information about those systems up into our analytics service. And then this cloud-based portal is actually providing you insights into what it's found in your environment.
And on some of my secure servers, I can redact that type of information or tweak it or tailor it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a very fine-grained way to anonymize information that's flowing from yourself to Red Hat. In fact, what turns out to be the case is people that work with us, they're familiar with the idea of an SOS report for doing things like troubleshooting. And in fact, this service actually uses about 1% amount of the information of an SOS report. So typically people don't even go to the bother of actually anonymizing the information. So if I start to look for things here now, what do I want to do? I want to start taking a look at risk, right? I want to start looking at things like likelihood of an issue in my environment, or I want to start looking at the impact in that environment. Put those two things together and we have kind of the sense of total risk for something.
Right, because I have a satellite controller. I mean, I think I have a pretty good understanding of what templates are installed and packages, but give me a little bit of a higher view of what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of my customers, what they might actually do is they might actually go to this executive report. Right? And the first thing I'm going to see in the executive report, if I start to scroll down, one of my favorite things is the 10 most impacted systems. So right now, what the service has actually done, any of the systems that you have registered will actually have a set of rules that Red Hat, we'll call them the insight analysts, are actually creating, right? So these are subject matter experts on operational practices around Red Hat Enterprise Linux as well as other third-party products, and they'll start creating rules, hundreds of rules that they should be looking at, kind of almost like pattern recognition in your environment, right? So let's see, for instance, we can see this Ansible 2.tronic system, right? It's got 16 hits on it right now. So that might, right away, what level of importance does that system have in our environment, right? So I, as one of the people on your team, might be saying, you know what, this is actually one of our development systems. It's not particularly important. You know, not a big deal. But this server here, this web in DB1, that might be an important system to us. So right away, we're seeing where we might actually start to put some of our attention and focus, right? Or on the other side, we can see 10 most frequently hit rules. Right? Why would that maybe be important? Well, if we constantly see a particular rule building in your environment and being hit, if we have some pretty good operational practices, right, discipline around it, like we talked about last time, maybe we should actually go ahead and change maybe our common operating environment or that standard operating environment that we created, right? And we'll actually build the resolution or remediation for this issue right into that common, in that common operating environment, right? So let's say we wanted to go that web DB1. We'll click on that and we'll start to see information about this particular system, right? So this is some of the information that's come up.
In this particular case?
Yeah, in this particular case, you see a lot of security related issues for this system. So if I were to try to drill down into this particular one, what we're trying to do is make it really easy for people to take action in their environment. So again, that idea, right? Day in the life of an admin or an operations staff. What if it's actually on the weekend, right?
True.
You're running low on people. Maybe it's actually someone on the Windows side of the house that's actually taking care of the systems, and they've gotten a page that there might be an issue, right? So they start to take a look at the systems, and they start to see, well, what is it that I could actually do here to maybe remediate a particular issue? So we try to lay out what is the issue, a description of it, and more importantly, steps to resolve it.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. So again, where do we want to spend our time? And what is it that we need to do in order to address the issues themselves? Now, you'll notice that I just talked about security there. If I were to go back and start to talk about actions, right? When we talk about actions, we talk about kind of 4 pillars that we want to try to focus on in an environment, right? We want to talk about the security level of our environment, availability, stability, and then performance. So these rules are going to direct us to different areas that we might want to focus on, right? I could also start looking at things like, well, okay, so we've got areas that we want to focus on. How does it know where to point me? Well, that Insights client that's installed on your systems, be it a RHEL instance or a container, whether it's on a bare metal system or in a virtualized environment or in the public cloud, you have a nice common operational model now to get guidance, right? And we see here an inventory of the systems that we have. What's nice is we can start to break it down into different groupings as well.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Because I might have multiple departments that I'm looking after. Some common infrastructure.
Yeah, that's right. So if we wanted to, we could create a grouping here just for the PureLogic IT systems themselves, right, and just focus on those. Now, what starts to become quite interesting is if we find particular issues, let's look at some security ones.
Okay.
Right? Now, it turns out here, right, that there's a certain number of systems that we've been flagged for an OpenSSH vulnerability. Let's try to actually drill down into those systems themselves. Right? Right now it's telling me that these particular systems, right, are impacted. So I know which ones to focus on. Right? How am I actually going to start taking action on those? Well, if I take a look at the system here, right, I can see it's a pretty simple resolution, but maybe what I want to try to find is an actual way to do this in an automated fashion.
Yeah, because I might have 50 servers that are having a problem.
That's
or 126 that we mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we've seen, Shane, is that pretty quickly we can drill down into the number of impacted systems that we have. Now, like you were just saying a minute ago,
How do I remediate?
Yeah. How do I actually take action on all these servers? And wouldn't it be nice if we had a way to do this in an automated way? Well, in fact, we do.
Okay.
So a good example might be if I were to take a look at this list of systems that are impacted by our security rules, you'll notice this column over here mentions Ansible, right? Our automation engine. So where we actually have the icon lit up, we can actually generate in an automated way playbooks to remediate this. So if I were to take a look at this OpenSSH vulnerability, and we see 2 servers are being impacted by it, I can select them, go to Actions, and then create that plan or playbook.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Right? So I could say something like PureLogic University, right? And we'll call it the OpenSSH. And I'm going to save that. Right? You'll notice that it actually gives me even options on how to actually configure the playbook itself. Do we want to actually have something that forces a restart, or do we not want to force a restart? Right? So quite nice that way. So now I've created a playbook, and if I wanted to, I could actually download that, take a look at it, and through a series of best practices, you'll see it's a well-documented Ansible playbook that's been created that can actually be used in your environment, right? Based on the inventory that you selected, right? Really nice. So
I can take that and put it in my remote Ansible and have it available for it.
that's right. If you're also making use of Ansible Tower, what's really nice is that we can actually work that into the scheduled workflows of Ansible Tower. There's an integration right now that any of these playbooks that I created through Red Hat Insights would actually become a repository of Ansible playbooks inside of Ansible Tower. So I can go and then start to actually schedule your maintenance windows right from Ansible Tower and already have those playbooks that you created through the Ansible Insights, the Red Hat Insights guidance already available to you.
Cool.
Right?
Yeah, how about the business user now? Let me look at my environment and get ahead of potential problems that could be coming in the future.
Are you asking like how would we go about doing that, or?
Well, yeah, let's say I'm not as technical. I'm a business user and I'm looking at my farm of 200 servers. How exposed am I? Where should I spend my time from a resource perspective? And how exposed am I for any sort of risks that could hit me?
Yeah, I really like the idea of that a day in the life of an admin staff where they're going to go in every day and take just a little bit of look, right? So just slowly take swings, right, and try to chop this down to size. If I wanted to look at this executive report, though, I can kind of see a trend or history or analysis over time of how we're doing.
And the intelligence that's in the Red Hat Cloud offering is updated all the time by sysadmins and patterns, and
that's right. So that's what's really nice. So we have a team of insights analysts, and what they're doing is they're working with our knowledge base that we're bringing in. So we have a huge ecosystem, right, of customers and partners, third-party vendors. Right. One of the biggest examples that I always get from customers that like the insight services is that it actually provides some guidance around third-party products as well. So the big example I often use is one of my customers who's a very advanced one with respect to their operational practices, like even their provisioning of the OSs themselves, right, is a automated, fully flowing CI/CD pipeline, and they like this. And this seems very simple at first glance, but one of the reasons why they like this, it was very simple to get up and running, right, low cost to install that client, and then once that client was up and running, immediately they started to get insight into their environment about things like SAP, Oracle, and Splunk, right? That was giving them guidance on things that they didn't even realize. They didn't know that a particular version of Splunk and the Red Hat Enterprise Linux version that they have, they were not, I guess, getting along as well as they would have liked, and they were actually suffering a little bit of a performance degradation that they weren't aware of. So they got ahead of the game there. Well,
agreed. And like Splunk, if you don't know what you're looking for, you're not going to find it. So if you have those patterns pre-built, there's the advantage right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know if there were other questions that you wanted to talk about, but so far what we looked at is, can I get a little bit of guidance in my environment, right? Can I then actually be told what it is that I need to do to kind of take action on that guidance, and also can I do it in an automated way?
So this is a cloud-based service. What if I wanted to do a proof of concept? How long would it take me to sort of fire something up if I had a collection of servers that had that capability? Yeah,
if you go to, again, that access.redhat.com/insights, right, you go to that website, and you're going to see an evaluation button there. We'll give you a year-long subscription for 10 clients that you can basically use as a proof of concept if you'd like.
And how much works on the technical side if I put my technical hat on?
Oh, on the technical side? So if I actually take a look at If I take a look at that page that I was just mentioning, right, we have a Get Started.
Okay.
Right, so if you go to Get Started, you can actually see that it's not too hard to get started. Basically, you're going to go and request the evaluation.
Right.
To make sure those systems, if you'd like, are actually registered with Red Hat as a system with the Red Hat Enterprise Linux subscription on it. And then it's as simple as yum install Red Hat Access Insights.
Okay. And then if I need to redact or look at the type of data file, I can get in there and change that type of information and what's being set.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right, as far as what's being shared. And we have other pages there as well.
Oh, that's really
Right?
cool.
So for example, if you went to an article called Opting Out of Sending Metadata, right, you can actually tweak it there a little bit if you'd like.
Okay, cool.
So as far as doing an evaluation or a proof of concept, very easy to get your hands on the actual software itself that you'd need to, and the entitlements to do so. What I'd highly recommend, right, is someone like yourself, Shane, right, from PureLogic, right, go in, actually do an assessment of the environment, right, to see what kind of operational practices that they already have, right, get familiar with it, and work with them to stand it up, right. If I take a look at the that Get Started page that I keep referring to, access.redhat.com/insights, right?
Pretty simple instructions.
Yeah, very simple to get up and running, right? We're just going to need to install a client on one of your systems.
Yeah, it's going to be more of a people and process type of an exercise for me to say what kinds of servers do you want to actually stand up? What's the data going to look like? What kind of value do you have? Do you have access to the internet? Let's feed that data and take a look.
Yeah, absolutely. So, try to find Shane, right? And he's going to help you do an interpretation of some of the rules and things and get you turned up to speed very quickly.
Yeah, and I really like this tool. I think it's interesting to see, you don't know what you don't know. And if you have somebody in there to take a look and even feed that data into an automated engine, why not take advantage of some of that big data that's out there?
Yeah, absolutely.
And use it.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much, Shane. Thank you so much, Jason. I think seeing that live demo and actually looking at insights and what it can actually provide to you will be a great addition to your technology environment. So over the next couple of months, we're going to keep layering on different technologies. So we've looked at Red Hat over the last 3 months, and we're going to continue with complementary partners. So please stay tuned, and we look forward to seeing you next time at PureLogic University.